in terms of the elo. And here we have it already in the bottom left corner of the map. We have a blue Protoss player. Gonna be Fortress of Fairies. It is nice.
And in the top right, we have for Saison Navi, Spirit.
Good, nice. Good to see that he still has the plushies supporting him in the back.
Yeah, always, Bobby, always. And as we settle into this game, if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you believe will take the series, whether it's a 2-0 score in either direction or a tied 1-1 score instead. Up to you to decide.
Yeah. Up to me?
No, you.
I can choose who wins? Oh, okay.
No. Up to the chat.
I guess I'm not trusted anymore to decide who wins.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are going to be settling into this. Again, a fresh best of 7. Some people were asking earlier what is the format. It is a best of 7 format, but we still play out all the matches. So even if it goes into a 4-0, we will still play out some additional matches.
Well, best of 7-ish, right? It's 3 best of 2s and then a potential ace match. So yeah, first team to get 4 wins is gonna be the winner, but it's not an all-kill format. It's kind of a pro league format, but again, that's 2, not 1. It's 2 games and not just 1. 2 maps.
It's WTL format. WTL format.
Yeah.
As shout out to Nice, by the way, he's going for a Gate Cyber expand, but look at how he's expanded. He's expanding like a Zerg player. He's crazy.
Yeah, taking the gold outside of the safety of the wall, which you think would make you more vulnerable, and sometimes it definitely can, but so long as you are warping in units, so long as you do have shield batteries and whatnot in position, it's actually safer, because and then you can actually chase away your Terran opponent's units as opposed to being behind the wall and just having to deal with them.
Exactly. It is a much safer way to take the gold, but likewise, this usually leads into an all-in, so I definitely have my eyes on Nice. It is going to be a Stargate opener for the time being. That is our tech of choice. We'll see if we go into Oracles or Phoenixes. The Reaper does slip into the main base, and Spirit does confirm the Stargate.
Indeed he does, but doesn't confirm the base. Nice, on the other hand, gonna dip in with his depth, will confirm. That Spirit has expanded, is taking that gold.
Yeah, is taking the gold base here. Meanwhile, we do end up setting up a proxy location, but we get eyes on this. The probe is under fire. I'm pretty sure we were hoping to set up shield batteries. You can see the Void Ray first here out of Nice. I believe it was for a Void Ray rush to get across the map, but Spirit has eyes on this.
Indeed, he does. And now it's going to be a lot easier for him to start preparing to defend. Cyclone already on the way. And eventually we're going to be seeing, it's not Maglev anymore, or Magfield.
No.
Hurricane Thrusters.
No, it's not.
No, it's not Thrusters anymore. It's Hurricane. Yeah, it's...
You okay? Engines. They turn into engines.
Yeah. I don't accept that.
For those that are curious, the upgrade...
still committed anyway here from...
Yeah, the upgrade used to be known as Hurricane Thrusters. Not anymore, because apparently it wasn't canon. Like lore-wise, it didn't make
accurate,
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did adjust that. But as I did mention,
they don't have thrusters.
Yeah, it is going to be an all-in here from Nice, going for the Void Rays across the map. There is a line of shield batteries in position as Spirit was accidentally attacking his own depot. Thankfully, he does preserve it. The question becomes, will this actually work? What I'm most concerned about is that the Stargate is not proxied, so it takes a long time to reinforce with Void Rays. Oh my god.
Yeah, it really does. We're seeing a bit of a gateway getting proxied here, but Nice does cancel that line of shield batteries, and Spirit, he's sending it.
Oh my... He's sending the boys across. Let's go!
Yeah, he's realized that he cannot do anything to defend against that many shield batteries, so he's just going to go send everything across the map and try to deal as much reciprocating damage.
Yeah, he's looking
to like to try to take...
He's looking to reciprocate that damage across the map. Boys, likewise being pulled against our opponents. We do have the Void Ray, do have the Prismatic Alignment is going to be activated here, and so far, Nice, he's holding on. He does take down 7 SCVs. Spirit in a really rough position. He was hoping to punish the gold, but nice defense.
Yeah. Nice little fake out with those shield batteries, I suppose.
Well, I mean, if Spirit tried to defend the gold, then they would have finished. But as soon as Nice saw that we were going to be evacuating and the Spirit, he just gave up on the gold base, then a very crisp move there from Nice to be able to cancel in time. Meanwhile, the army's still being active. We're pushing in once again. We catch the Void Ray.
We'll take it out. And that's going to put Nice in a lot of trouble moving forward. We do have Stim already finished up, and there we go. GG gets called. Spirit gonna be taking game at number 1. Cheeky little smile as he processes what he just witnessed.
A very nice snipe there on the pylon. I don't know if you noticed that the Artosis pylon, even though the overcharge was popped, it did nothing. The overcharge did nothing. Without the overcharge, Nice could not hold on, he could not defend, and Spirit takes a very strange game.
Strange is playing tonight, though. It's with my gag.
There you go. But GG, well played. Spirit will take a lead in the series. That was a very chaotic game there, and there was some nice moments there for Nice. There was some really really opportunistic moments for him, but unfortunately, I did love that Spirit. He just went for almost like a base trade-ish move. We just sent everything across the map, and Nice just wasn't quite ready for that back at home.
Yeah, he really wasn't. I mean, that's why Spirit, he is a mad lad, or he plays like a mad lad. He's more than willing to take these massive risks to really just exploit his opponent's weakness and moment of vulnerability, even though it leaves himself vulnerable as well.
I just love that he's still smirking a little bit here and there, and I mean, Spirit, he's known for like having no emotion. Like, he's known for winning a series here in WTL, and then he just immediately turns off the cam. like he just gets the hell out of there. So we don't often get a lot out of Spirit. So yeah, I appreciate this.
Yeah. He doesn't want people to see how pleased he is with himself defending against that. Which, you know what, I'd be pleased too.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest. I've been in that position before as a Terra player. Have never been able to pull off a defense as crisp or as aggressive as Spirit. So if I was able to pull it off, I'd be sorry. Anyway, in the top left, we're representing the blue Protoss player. Representing Joseph Ferries, Van Clav and Klein, apparently. We have Nice.
In the bottom right-hand corner, we have Spirit for Psystorm Na'Vi. Zeko, you ran out of breath there. What?
Oh, and how could I forget? Yeah. How could I forget? He is also repping the plushies.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean...
Yes. I also love that if you look at the team logo, they didn't even give the Na'Vi transparent logo. It's got a white background because
it does, because it's a JPEG.
It is. God damn it, guys! Shaking my head.
SMH, and they're just next to each other. Yeah.
They are. Regardless, we are selling.
What? What would you... Oh, okay. So I'm gonna... I have my answer, but I'm gonna posit this to you, Light, and to chat as well. If you were to combine the two logos, what would it be?
If it's a Psystorm Na'Vi,
I have my answer.
I'd put the Na'Vi in the storm. In the storm.
Ah, you hear me. Yeah, you're feeling me. I'd put it diagonally, so it's like flying around in a circle. Yeah.
There you go.
It's like a billboard.
I mean, it doesn't take much to meld a storm in a name. Like, and it can look good as well.
Yeah. Exactly. Or you could have one of those Avatar aliens.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you could have one of those Avatar aliens in a storm.
Oh,
creating a storm.
the Na'Vi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can get
Twisted Fairy created an entirely new an entirely new character.
True. I thought you were gonna go the other way. Am I crazy? What's the fairy in Zelda?
The Zelda? Yeah, the Zelda fairy. That
would
work as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Na'Vi.
Yeah. Listen.
Like, hey, listen. Gonna storm you.
God. That's not. That's something else, Yaku. That's
Alright, listen up!
that's not.
Hey, listen
That's
up!
that's something very different, Yaku. That's no.
We're gonna be getting into the storm! Power overwhelming!
That's the wrong franchise. Okay, we're settling in. As we are getting into our standard setups here, it's going to be a CC on the high ground for Spirit. It was a double gas, sorry, it was double gas opener. Zerax into Factory, into what looks to be a Widowmine drop setup. Oh, never mind. It is going to be a single Widowmine into Cyclone. Spirit is expanding, and this time nothing too crazy from Nice. There's no proxy setup. There's no setup for an all-in. We're calming things down as it is another Stargate opener.
Yeah, this time a lot more normal from the side of Nice. No Void Rays or anything. I mean, occasionally I think in PvP sometimes you see a single Void Ray, but that's usually only happens when the Protoss player forgets that they're not playing a PvC.
Yeah, exactly. As Phoenixes are amassing. I mean, this could be the beginnings of, you know, your tried and true Phoenix Colossus, right? It would make a lot of sense here for Nice to just establish himself in the mid game. As I say, that Spirit is going to be the first to move out, shuts down the first Adept, and we are pushing with a bit of a kitchen sink. We got Marines, we got a Widowmine, and we got a Cyclone.
Yeah, eventually we're gonna have a Liberator meeting up with all of this, but yeah, this isn't the most dedicated push. It's mostly here to delay the third base of the Protoss player and see if you can apply any more pressure from there.
Yeah, we'll see if we can apply pressure or even just break through the defensive line. Shield battery is done in a couple of seconds, not quite done yet. Likewise, a little potential with that mine shot as Spirit does push forward. Shield battery looks like it's going to finish up just in time.
Like so. Forces are on the way. That Widowmine doing such a good job of zoning away pretty much everything.
Does so far hold the line here. We do have a second Cyclone arriving. Mine shot not quite going off yet, but we have the Revelation, so we're going to be able to snipe it here. It does barely get sniped.
And with that, Spirit's going to pull back. He's content with just being able to delay the third of Nice for as long as possible, but hang on. While the main army is distracted, Liberator rocks up into the main base and forces all these Phoenixes back, I guess.
Yeah, we do try to split Nice's attention apart. Probes are going down. We get 4 probe kills in the main. Nothing quite at the natural, though, as Spirit does have to back off. He does respect the main army. Additional Cyclone comes in to reinforce. We shut down at least the Oracle.
Unfortunate pathing coming out here from Nice. Oracle goes down for pretty much for free. And considering the fact that Nice at this point is very, very dedicated, just making more and more Phoenixes, he's given up all of the utility the Oracle provides for most of the rest of, at least until we get into the mid game.
Yeah, exactly, as we do get a massive counterattack here. Not much at home to defend, though. We did see Spirit doing well across the map, trading and shutting down at least the Oracle, but these Phoenixes, they get 7 SCV kills at the natural, and they even get a full scout of the main base, confirming the third CC timing, even delaying it.
Like so. That's a lot of damage being dealt here from Nice, but honestly it's damage that he needs to get done, considering how delayed his own third base was. He's about to be outscaled massively by Spirit's economy unless he's able to delay his third.
Yeah, it is going to be quite heavily delayed here as Nice is doubling down. We're getting into +1 air attack. That I was not quite expecting. We could try to pull a classic and try to rush into a fleet beacon into Sky Toss. As I say that, Twilight Council is finishing up, so we're playing it out safely here. We are embracing Charge to accompany these Phoenixes.
Yeah. Colossus, I suppose, would just be too much of an investment during a time where Nice really can't afford to underestimate the Terran army, as Spirit is already making its way across the map.
I mean, we do pick up a lot of reinforcements. I mean, that was 2 Widowmines, that was a Marine. Like, there's some good damage dealt here by these Phoenixes, but the reality is, do we have enough to defend against the main push? As Spirit, he does just go right down mid, headed for the natural base. He's spotted by the pylon. Nice is repositioning, but Charge is not ready. Charge is still halfway done. Yeah,
not done quite yet, and this is exactly where Spirit wants to fight, right? In the middle, not quite in the middle of the map, but definitely far away from shield battery range. Combat shield about to finish up, which allows us, gives Spirit a little bit more sustainability with his bio army.
Yeah, so we do rotate around. Our last act defense is finishing up. Nice, he's bought himself some time. He's building his forces. Charge will now finish up in 5 seconds. And with that, Nice should be able to hold on. He should have enough as... Oh, the overcharge is a bit premature.
Yeah, a little bit premature. Popped before Spirit really was able to get too deep in. And so, yeah, once he sees that the overcharge was popped, he just pulls out. Pulls away.
Yeah, exactly. It happens to the best of us here, but alas, thankfully, as you mentioned, Spirit does pull away, so it does give Nice enough time here to end up, you know, having another overcharge available to him as we do go for the harass into the main base. Phoenixes, they got so many SCV kills earlier, and now we get into the main, but the might just go off!
They do go off. 2 Phoenixes go down, and that's a lot of splash damage that's been dealt. It really shouldn't take much for these Cyclones to clean up the rest of them. Nice. Has to move the hell away from that army if he wants to keep these Phoenixes alive.
Yeah, very strong catch here from Spirit with the mine shots, with the surround as well, with just intercepting those Phoenixes. And with that, with that, Spirit now has a bit of momentum on his side, getting into his ghost production and ready for those EMPs.
Yeah, he's getting ready for round 2, whereas Nice, because of how the early game shaped up, he is nowhere near prepared to he's nowhere near prepared for the mid game. You know, he doesn't really have any tech. His highest tech unit right now is Phoenix, and apart from that, he's heavily reliant on Zealots and Stalkers, which is exactly what a Bioterran army wants to face.
Exactly. These EMPs are going to be crucial, and how good are the connections going to be? We get one EMP on the Phoenix's mine shot goes off. We do drag the mine, though.
Yeah, a little bit of excess friendly fire here being dealt on to Terran Bio. Medivacs will get picked off, so Nice actually going to be able to overwhelm this and chase this back. He keeps the Nexus alive as well.
Very nice defense here from the Protoss player, but he does run out of Phoenixes. It did cost him every single Phoenix to hold the line. He's going for a big counterattack, but alas, it does seem like Spirit has enough. An EMP does connect with the Stalkers.
Yeah, and without those bonus shields, they're just very, very fragile. They have the constitution of wet paper, essentially. Nice pulling a bit of a Serral here. Trying to take Spirit's base.
What is going on as we take the forward base here so we have an offensive overcharge? Question mark. Meanwhile, we spoke earlier about the Stalkers. They're going down one after the other. They were so fragile, so vulnerable, but reinforcements have arrived. Zealots, they bust their way in between the bases, in between the natural and the main. Marines are running out. SCVs are falling, and Nice is breaking through.
Yeah, indeed, he is. Reinforcing Zealots are on the way as well. Spirit underestimating the army a little bit too much, not pulling the boys until the very end there.
Ooh, and 17 SCVs go down. We eviscerate the economy at the natural. The third base is safe and sound, but the damage was done, and because of this Nexus reinforcements, they arrive so much faster. Again, we can throw down shield batteries as well and have an offensive overcharge. I'm just a little bit shocked by the Nexus placement here from Nice. He's crazy.
He is crazy, but sometimes you gotta be a little crazy to pull this off.
You know what happened? He saw the smirk earlier. He saw Spirit smirk. He's like, no, you want to smirk against me, Papi? No.
I'll smirk you.
Oh my god, he's an animal. And behind this, we're taking up, okay, Robo, Temple Archives, Blink on the way for Nice, so he does ease up some of the aggression here. He does catch the Medivacs as well, so far, nice marauding here from our Protoss. Spirit is looking to stabilize, though. I mean, his worker count isn't looking too bad.
Yeah, he's been able to recover and get back on about an even worker count as his opponent. Obviously, Nice still has 5 bases versus the 3 bases of Spirit, but he's not really mining from all of them, especially not this 5th base.
Yeah, not at all. I believe Spirit hasn't even seen the base yet, but if we bleed out all these Zealots, then it is going to be revealed. I mean, we will be able to recall offensively across the map, I suppose, but before we can think about that, we have the overcharge in the main base, a massive drop in the main as well. Can we hold on?
Yeah, we're gonna try. Recall did get popped earlier on. One medevac full of units gonna go down, but the other two will survive. Meanwhile, Spirit, he's had enough. He's gathered the rest of his army, and he is going for a massive push.
Yeah, he's going for a massive push towards a third. Storm is on the way, but it just now started. It's not going to be ready for this fight. We have to rely on Archons, on Chargeots, on our Gateway army instead. At the same time, Spirit doesn't have the largest force either. Like, again, it's been a very chaotic game overall, very back and forth, and Spirit is still trying to just mass up his own army as well. Nice is expanding.
Yeah,
again.
it looks like he's not actually feeling very confident. He's
taking the gold.
He's actually getting expansion, yeah.
He's not even
And, like,
saturated yet. Like,
yeah, he's gonna. Yeah. I was gonna say he's gonna send workers of mine from that gold at the very least, but now that you pointed out, yeah, we've been on 66 probes for a very long time.
Yeah, we haven't been making probes. Meanwhile, Spirit, he will finally spot the Nexus. He is aware and he will shut it down. We were able to use this to at least reinforce across the map, but that is gonna buy some time, and now Nice can move out.
Yeah, looking to move out. He's looking to fight this Terran army in the middle of the map, which obviously is going to allow him to get maximum surface area. Ooh, with his zealots, but the armies do meet, and Spirit shoots first. He does get some very good EMPs. There's one storm on this army.
Oh, that was 3 High Templar going down.
Just be enough to soften it up.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but the Prism fell. The Prism had 3 High Templar inside. A massive snipe there from Spirit. It was only the one storm because of that, and we are going to be able to kite all the way back. We shut down the Zealots and Spirit. He will dominate this fight.
Yeah, brilliant trade from the side of Spirit. Sure, his ghost count got reset, but at this point he can afford to lose ghosts, whereas Nice cannot afford to lose High Templar.
Yeah, exactly. He lost every single High Templar. He lost the forward expansion, is sneaking out the gold, but again, what use is a base if you don't mine from it? That was a problem with the earlier aggressive base that he had taken. Like, there was just no saturation whatsoever. Did not pay for itself. Likewise, gold base has yet to be saturated as well for the Protoss.
Yeah, fortunately Protoss do not have mules.
Unfortunately not. As Nice has some recovering to do, Spirit meanwhile building up, and we'll see if Spirit does. Yeah, he's checking the Zonaga. He will check the Zonaga and he will find the base that, again, we just haven't made use of yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be odd once Spirit actually scouts in and says, wait, do you just get the Nexus? Or what's going on, bro?
Yeah, there we go. Marines that will clean up the base. The gold is going to be denied. That's going to be, what, 800 minerals down the drain? Because it was 2 Nexuses, so 2 bases falling, and again, just no saturation whatsoever.
Yeah, unfortunately, meanwhile, we have another double drop coming into the main base. We do have decent surface area, decent choke point, but yeah, quick warping Zealots is going to force Spirit to pull out.
And he does.
And actually go down to the Void Race.
Yeah, the Void Ray at least in position to shut down the Medivacs at the same time. Nice is building up an army to work with, and he still has potential with those storms. Hopefully this time he does keep the Prism alive.
Indeed he does, but once again, a couple of premature storms by the looks of things. I mean, EMP is going to land anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter in the end whether the storms were premature or not.
Yeah, the Prism goes down. EMP on the High Templar. No more storms remaining here for the Protoss. Nova's going to be going up, but we do stem away. The Nova does not connect. And Spirit, he's looking to overwhelm his opponent. He's snowballing out of control.
And then around EMPs, blank at this Protoss army. GG is called. Spirit gonna take that series 2-0. Oh, there's the Spirit that we are used to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no more Smirk, but yeah, very solid lead here for Psystorm Na'Vi.
GG, well played, Spirit, with the classic just insta turn off of the webcam and no emotions. But that was a wild one out of Nice. Both game 1 and game 2, Nice, yeah. He had just a really unique approach, and there was a lot of potential as well. Like, the base almost felt overconfident, and Nice was ahead. Like, early on, Nice, he was ahead. Spirit, he was up against the wall, he was up against the ropes. But Nice, again, investing in some bases that he was never able to take advantage of, and there was just some really rough engagements that he did have as well throughout the second half of the game.
Yeah, always remember these words of wisdom, chat. What use is a base if you don't mine from it? Think about that.
Who said that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I did.
Okay.
You just came out with it.
GG, a strong start here for System Na'Vi. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have Stats versus MaxPax in a PvP.
Yeah, in the first of two. See you then. And we are back. Gonna be continuing our match here. The Twisted Fairies versus Psystorm Na'Vi. Hope you enjoyed that TVP, because that's the only non-PvP that we have left. We have at least 4 more PvPs on our hands. Potentially 5.
We have non-stop PvPs ahead of us here, and as you said, if it does go to the ace match, there's a high chance it's going to be a PvP then as well, as the ace players of both Psystorm and Twisted Fairy are Protosses, and we're going to be starting things off with Stats versus MaxPax. This is going to be an interesting one. MaxPax, of course, one of the best Protoss players in the world, at least the best Protoss in Europe, but Stats has also been on the rise.
Indeed, he has had a really good showing in GSL, had a really good showing in DreamHack Dallas. Obviously, it was a pretty massive shock to see him, out of all of the players, Stats, who was about 2 or 3 months out of the military, being the one to snag up that final qualifying seed in IM Katowice. So, yeah, Stats is definitely not someone who we can count out. And I'll get into this. As we did the top left-hand corner of the map, we for the Twisted Fairies, Blue Protoss, it's Stats.
And in the bottom left, we have MaxPax for Psystorm Na'Vi.
Indeed. And what I was going to say is that I think this will also be a pretty interesting match as well, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but to my memory, I believe the rise of MaxPax actually coincided with Stats being in the military.
Yeah, in a way, definitely. You know, Stats, he stepped away, and MaxPax was able to kind of rise to prominence. You insinuating that MaxPax took the shield?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. What I'm saying is that I don't think we really have seen too much of Stats versus MaxPax, so it's gonna be interesting.
Is
gonna see how the old and the new stack up.
We shall see. If you're in the chat, at least in Twitch chat, predictions are open. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take this, a 2-0 in either direction or a 1-1 score. The pressure is on Stats to at least take a game to give Classic a chance to take the series themselves. So again, a little more pressure on Stats coming into this. MaxPax has a bit of a cushion to work with here, thanks to Spirit.
Yeah. He's got that auto full chair to cushion him.
Let's go. If you want to sit like a king, like a Danish prince even, like MaxPax, then invest and exclamation mark autofull in the chat to get a link to that beautiful mechanical electric autofull chair.
Yeah, heated as well. Heated and chilled.
Yeah. You can put your drinks in it.
Exactly. What a time. Technology.
Hashtag not sponsored. God.
Well, now we have to be.
Do we? I don't think we can even buy it if you're not in China. I don't think they
I don't think they
ship internationally.
Yeah.
God. Aye, aye, aye. I remember we used to do that.
I don't think anybody in China is watching us either, because I believe Twitch. Yeah, you have to VPN to watch Twitch in China.
True. They're watching the door you stream. I remember we used to do that, right? We used to do like these
Dare
ad
iced
read
coffee,
bits.
yeah.
Yeah, for at least Dare. Yeah, and Menu Pog. True.
And MenuPog, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be easier if we knew what Pew Pew was.
Pew pew! It's like I don't know. It's like Chinese Steam.
It's
I
like
think.
it's like Steam,
Last I
yeah.
checked.
It's like Epic Games Store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kinda.
Except there's less ownership by Tencent.
There you go. It's just owned by something else.
Yeah. No, not Garena, not. I keep wanting to say Nest Fuel, but
Nestea?
I keep wanting to say Nestea, but I know Nestea isn't the. What was the one where there was like a huge problem with Blizzard and the Chinese clients because they had to not Nesquik. I mean, I'm thinking of Nesquik.
You're talking about NetEase.
NetEase. There we go. That's where Nestea came from. Yeah, NetEase, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think Pew Pew is its own thing. It's independent.
That's fine. For now, we're setting
It's
our
not part of
openers.
NetEase.
Yeah, we did have a gate expand from both players into a Stargate. This should be the beginning of Phoenix Wars, but as we can see, MaxPax is diverging. As both players are investing into Phoenixes, MaxPax is going for a Twilight Council ready for a Blink transition.
Yeah, looking to be much more aggressive here.
Yeah, and
I was going to say, we have to keep our eyes peeled on the minimap to see what the Nexus positioning is going to be here from MaxPax.
yeah, really what I'm most concerned about here, it goes both ways. Right now, MaxPax is vulnerable. If Stats keeps making if he keeps making Phoenixes, he can move out across the map and try to punish MaxPax and just straight up kill him. But if Stats is too passive, then MaxPax will get away with Blink and will get into a heavy Blink Stalker based composition instead and can overwhelm Stats. So there's this give and take dance going on right now. Stats is trying to get a read on what's going on. I believe he is still unawares as of the transition, but there is a robo on the way.
Yeah, safety robo on the way, scuttling around with his Phoenixes. Super important right now for him to add, since MaxPax, still is in the build-up phase. This is the time now for Stats to come in, deal damage, and confirm what he's up against. I believe he scouts Twilight Council researching.
Yeah, it does scout. The Twilight Council takes down a Phoenix as well, so he's fully aware of Blink, which means we should begin Immortal production. The downside here is that Stats won't really have much of a ground army to work with, but the Immortals will definitely help out in the Stalker deficit. Meanwhile, MaxPax setting up a proxy, soon to reinforce across the map.
Yeah, he does not want this game to last too much longer.
Yeah,
As Stats... Yeah, Stats once again setting out his Phoenixes, trying to get more probe damage and kind of make sure that MaxPax will have as few stalkers to work with when he does push out.
Yeah, very important here that Statsy gets economic damage done. At the same time, he's got shield batteries on the way. They're not ready yet as, the sentry barely does survive. But one sentry does go down, and Statsy's holding the line for the time being, does bleed out some units. Immortals are on the way and working towards a transition into Forge, into Twilight Council, into our own gateway army. But MaxPax, he's knocking down the front door.
He's knocking down, he's got a battering ram. The Immortal is now out, but there's not much of a buffer for it. Phoenixes can only do so much, really.
Yeah, especially because they did spend a lot of energy across the map lifting up some probes, so very little energy to work with here against the main army. Shields have been triggered on the Immortal, needs a little bit more time to recharge as we do threaten the Cyber Core.
Yeah, might as well just pick off whatever you can here if you are MaxPax. Make it a little bit easier for you to push in once again. Stats setting up a ninja base? Is that what? Is everyone just trying to pull a Gerald tonight?
Everyone might be inspired. It's true. I'm inspired as well. Gerald, he was an animal earlier today. As Stats is at least taking his own third, so both players, they have comparable economies. Because of the ramp, thankfully, Stats, he's holding onto the natural. But we can see MaxPax rotating over towards the left-hand side. He does have high ground vision, does blink in.
Will be able to threaten this base. Takes a little while for the army of Stats to come into position. Phoenix gets taken out, but now that the Immortals are here, MaxPax is a little bit more hesitant to fight. He will try to target down and will take out one Immortal. Meanwhile, Adept run by, gonna pick off a couple of probes.
Exactly, 3 probes go down. We shut down an Immortal as well. Very nice damage. There were no shield batteries set up at the third, so Stats was vulnerable, and MaxPax does catch some pretty high value targets as he does retreat, still banking on his Gateway army. Meanwhile, Stats is going to have to take a more defensive approach here. I wouldn't be surprised if he does throw down the Temple Archives to get into his own Archon production. For now, just Gateways and Immortals.
Yeah. A little bit of a cheaper option here for Stats. Does need to take a more defensive position, but hey, that's what Sats does best.
It is, but he does miss the rotation. Again, he doesn't have any vision on the main army. Gateway goes down. Shield battery as well. Overcharge is no longer available. And can we get the Cyber Core? Not quite, not yet, but it is quite exposed.
Yeah, it's going to be a very valuable pick-off here for MaxPax. Charge not done just yet here for Stats, so these ults can only do so much.
They can. As the Cyber Core goes down, we can only reinforce with Zealots. Meanwhile, MaxPax taking his own 4th base. Stats still contained to 3 bases. We spoke about the tech choice of Stats, and there it is, Temple Archives on the way. So Stats is going for Immortal Archon Charge Lot. Can work out quite well, but again, we need time to get into it.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here, Light, from our first series of the evening, Skills versus Showtime, where we had pretty much a similar setup here, is Skillless being the one who was focused a lot more on Stalkers and Gateway units, Showtime being the one to tech into Immortals and Archons eventually. Showtime was able to take that victory, but part of that also came down to the fact that Skillless was really delaying his transition. MaxPax, not so much, as we do already have the Templar Archives finishing up. High Templar are going to be warped in immediately.
Yeah, I really appreciate this from MaxPax, the fact that he is still very Gateway heavy, but that he is at least incorporating Archons. And there we go, Archons are now on the way for both players. Archons, they just annihilate Zealots so hard, like there's such a hard counter to mass Zealots, so Stats is going to have to be very careful with his movement, and he's going to have to be very tentative and very intent on focusing down those Archons as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very on top of morphing his High Templar into Archons as well. Here we go. MaxPax with a little bit of cheeky run by.
Yeah, he distracts the main army. At the same time, the Stalkers they have on the third is exposed. There's not much here.
And it should just about go down. Archon gets surrounded. Archon gets surrounded. Archon gets taken out.
Yeah, both Archons fall. MaxPax, he will commit in, and now we're forcing a base raid. Stats, he's moving out across the map. There's no turning back, not anymore. And the base raid has begun.
If only Protoss buildings could lift.
True. I mean, we can always recall. That's also going to be a factor here as MaxPax does evacuate. He saves most of his probes. Oh, Robo is depowered. Stats, though, he's working his way towards the natural. But MaxPax is already in it.
Yeah. Stats is working his way there, but MaxPax is already getting damage done. He's even going into the main base. Could be camping the production as well, looking to depower as many gateways as he can.
Yeah, the Immortal is lifted. Nice pickoff here from Stats. He does catch the reinforcing Immortal. Probes are being evacuated once again. We do see MaxPax going to be reinforcing defensively. Oh, sorry, that was actually Stats reinforcing with additional Archons across the map. This is still getting very chaotic. Could still go either way. MaxPax did save a lot of probes, so he does have the capacity to build elsewhere.
He does. I believe he is. Okay, not quite throwing down the second Nexus yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we need one more rotation, and there we go. We have 400 minerals. We can afford a Nexus. MaxPax can throw one down if he needs to. He still has a base, or he still has bases up and running elsewhere. And we do recall back home. The Immortal.
And the Immortals and the Archons here of Stats will get trapped, will get taken out. That wasn't even the full army of MaxPax, by the way. So yeah, across the map, he is still getting damage done.
Yeah, he's still in the main base. The third has fallen. The natural has fallen as well. We can see Stats trying to catch out the army. But at the same time, MaxPax getting his own Immortals almost caught out as they focus on the Archons.
There's a MaxPax. Wait. Okay, GG is called, and MaxPax is going to be taking game number 1. Very chaotic game that we had here. Very quick base trade that we eventually got. And in the end, MaxPax, much more used to the chaos.
GG, well played. I mean, MaxPax, he was the first to really embrace the base trade. He was, as you mentioned, right, he was already in the main at the time. He was already in the bases of his opponents, and alas, stats took him a little bit too long to actually get into the swing of things as well. MaxPax also preserved his probes. He also could afford ninja bases if need be. Like MaxPax, he was looking quite comfortable in that base trade.
Yeah, he was much more prepared. Let's put it that way. Once he recognized, I think, that Stats wasn't defending back at home, he knew what was coming, so he just gathered up his probes. He just, was ready to evacuate. He was so patient with the recall as well, only popping it at the very end there when Stats was kind of at his weakest. And after he was able to deal so much damage to the production of Stats as well.
Oh, yeah. And with that, GG, MaxPax does take the first game. One more win is all MaxPax needs to claim victory for Psystorm Na'Vi. Stats needs to fight back here and now, and his map of choice is going to be Oceanborn.
Yeah. It's a very common map, I think.
Oh, he's snacking on something.
Big skill is so big that he is.
I didn't see what he put in his mouth.
Oh, he's moving his arm up. Hyper focus now.
You're like, he's eating food. What's he eating, Papi? Gibbs.
Oh, I guess we're not gonna find out yet. About red, go to the red, blue Protoss player for Twisted Fairy. It was Stats.
And at the top left, we have MaxPax, Psystorm Na'Vi. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, we didn't really get to point it out. As we were very quick to get into this series, but yeah, Twisted Fairy and Psystorm Na'Vi, they're another two teams that are right next to each other in the standings. Na'Vi, a little bit higher, has a 2-point advantage over Twisted Fairy, but even still, it is neck and neck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, very close between Psystorm Na'Vi and Twisted Fairy, so this is another very important match for the two of them. Psystorm looking strong so far, and we'll see if we can bounce back. For now, it is going to be double gate openers from the side of Stats and MaxPax, getting into some more standard builds. I say that I'm curious if MaxPax is going to go for a more economic build. I think he will. Yeah, MaxPax is going for a gate cyber opener instead.
Massive risk here on Oceanborn. As Stats, not going to take that same risk, is opting for a double gate, and there's a lot of potential here for Stats to punish this.
Yes. Stats has the option right now to go for a one base all-in. He has the option to, it doesn't have to proxy, I mean, we could see a proxy, or we could just double down and go for an all-in instead, to try to punish the greed of MaxPax. I'm curious if Stats will embrace that, or if he will go for just a delayed economy instead, and just go for a later expansion. Both are viable options. One is a little bit more rough, but at the same time, MaxPax is just so experienced in defending here in this position. I don't know if he can be punished right now.
Yeah, we'll see if the shield is able to crack the crown? Question mark?
Yeah, the crown. Yeah, sure.
Crown, yeah.
The throne.
The throne. Yeah.
Scepter.
Shield is the throne.
Ah. Okay. We can see Stats, he's going to be delaying the expansion. It's going to be a Stargate opener from MaxPax again, so it's gate into Cybercore into Stargate, then followed by the Nexus. The Stargate does give us access to an Oracle to harass across the map, and into Void Ray production in case it isn't all in, just to be a little bit more defensive instead. So MaxPax is just preparing himself, and Stats does expand.
Yeah, not going to double down, not going to go for the all-in. Is going to respect MaxPax a ton here.
Okay, so there's a bit of a give and take going on. The bases are pretty neck and neck. They're pretty comparable to each other, but MaxPax has the Oracle. And with the Oracle, we can harass across the map. At the same time, Statsy gets into the main.
And he is picking off probes left and right. Completely ignoring the Stalker, completely ignoring the Zealot.
Yeah.
He's going to be taking them out. MaxPax across the map. Takes out one probe himself, but it pales in comparison to the 7 that Stats has been able to take down.
Yeah, as the Oracle Force Activate, it's been back at home. It does take down one of the Adepts, so that was 7 probe kills. That is an insane amount of damage this early on. Very nicely done here by Stats. And with that, Stats suddenly takes a massive economic lead.
Massive lead. Yeah, we even have sentries in that mineral line to defend against the Oracles. Oracle shouldn't be able to get much. I mean, already its energy is limited, and there we go. It's used up all of it.
Yeah, it takes down 2 probes, but again, that is still not enough damage. At the same time, we have Stalkers in position back at home, back at the natural. We shut down the Adept, and stats, he finds himself with a very comfortable 6 probe lead.
Yeah, lead that he's going to be looking to maintain as this game continues, as he's not exactly one to skip out on macro cycles, on his worker cycles.
Yeah, Stats is already working on Blink. MaxPax's own Blink is delayed because of the investment into the Stargate. So Stats, he's in a better position straight up. Does lead out another probe, but only 1 worker as Stats was ready for the Oracle Harass. And yeah, Stats, he's looking strong here in the early game so far.
Yeah, now our eyes are going to be shifting more towards MaxPax's side of the map, MaxPax's production bar, as we look to see how he tries to make up for that fact. Will he double down on the third and I try to out macro Stats? It sounds like suicide if he tried to do so, but then again, I'm used to NA, so maybe that might be a might be a viable option.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. At least MaxPax has both Oracles alive, so you can see that he's still threatening Mineralize and is still trying to pick off probes. He did not get an additional worker there in the main, but he at least has them alive, so he can always threaten these bases as Stats is the first to expand. And as you said, myself as well, my eyes are definitely on MaxPax here to see how he responds.
Yeah, so far just playing a bit of a game of catch-up here with Stats. Getting more Stalkers, getting Blink. Blink will finish up a little bit later than Stats, but not too much later.
Did you say ketchup in Singapore?
What did I say?
No,
Ketchup?
like the condiment, yeah, like ketchup. Is that a thing in Singapore?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a thing here in Australia.
It is, you just call it something different.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah. That's not. Yeah. Do you call it ketchup?
Officially it's called ketchup, but a lot of people don't call it ketchup.
What do they call it?
Tomato sauce.
Oh, there you go. As we do get a safe strap on the store. Oh my god, massive stasis with that MaxPax. He can take the fight. Oh.
Yeah, he can take the fight. He's also distracted the main army, so Oracle is able to sneak around and is able to get a whole ton of probe kills.
Yeah, 13 workers go down. The Oracle in the main, the Oracle in the natural. Stats, he's being pulled apart. MaxPax with the tri-pronged attack here. He was committed. He was very committed here, pushing across the map, and he just pulls Stats apart. 15 probes go down. With the main army coming together, Stats will be able to defend, but the damage was done.
Yeah, any advantage Stats had earlier on is now pretty much forfeit. I say pretty much forfeit. He still is up a base, so he can still try to out macro MaxPax from here, but take a lot of worker damage to get there.
Yeah, oh my god, this is insane. Again, MaxPax was up against the wall, but somehow, someway, he claws his way back in. He does have an overwhelming force. He's going to be able to push Stats back. At the same time, the Oracle goes back in again.
And even more workers go down. Stats shaking his head a little bit here as the Immortal pops out way too late. GG is called. MaxPax gonna take the 2-0. Gonna take the victory for Psystorm Na'Vi.
Gee. GG, well played. Again, like, that was Stats' game to lose. He had a very, very strong start to the game, was able to get ahead economically, able to get ahead tech-wise, was the first to take a third base as well. He had the tools to defend, but he was pulled apart. It all started with that stasis trap. It was an insane moment there for MaxPax, and he capitalized so hard on it.
Yeah, it's a classic situation, right? Stats was ahead until he wasn't.
GG, well played. With that, Psystorm Na'Vi will claim victory here over Twisted Fairy. It's a big win for them. They didn't need it to have a chance at making it out of the group stage, but we will be featuring another PvP.
Indeed, we will. We have one final match for tonight's WTL round. And like I said, it's going to be a PvP. It won't change too much when it comes to the standings, but you know, every little bit of map score counts when we get to the end of the group stage, when we really need to go into that nitty-gritty and decide, you know, which team shall advance and which team shall be stuck behind.
Oh yeah, the map score does matter here when it comes to determining who makes it and who doesn't make it into the playoffs, who gets relegated, who doesn't as well. So very important matchup here ahead of us, and it is going to be favored it's going to be leading in favor of Twisted Fairy. Classic, of course, is the ace player for his team. He's coming in as a heavy hitter. But we'll see if he can pull it off against Gerald, because Gerald, he's no slouch. He's an amazing player in his own right, and Psystorm Na'Vi has a lot of momentum.
Yeah, a lot of momentum going their way, which can work for them. On the flip side, pressure's off for Classic.
True.
I think the biggest advantage that Twisted Fairy has here, or that Classic specifically has here, is that he doesn't have to play like an animal, as his opponent is a hero.
He doesn't have to, but he might.
He could. I don't know. He could if you. Yeah, he could.
We'll see.
As but
yeah, there's no time for a break. We're getting right on in. We can see, of course, the ELO, the ratings here of Classic, and of course of Geralt as well. I'm always teased by this because this photo is lying to us. It's showing us a Geralt with facial hair, and he doesn't exist anymore. He's a different man.
Yeah, it was showing us the prime Geralt. Or as we load on the bottom right corner of the map, we have a Blue Brothers Flavor Classic with that cake in the background.
And in the top
fairies.
In the top left, we have Gerald for Psystorm Na'Vi. And if you are in the chat, get your gamba going, papi, because predictions are now open.
Indeed, they are. Get your gamba on, wager your grapes, and potentially gather enough grapes to redeem a replay.
There you go. Predictions are open. Also, I see Fiant. Good morning, Fiant. Good morning. Good to see Fiant in the
good
chat.
Morning, Fiant.
And we will be casting the Forjumi for the Forjumity Cup, the league. We'll get there.
The Forjumi community, or Forjumity.
There you go. We'll be covering that after WTL. I believe it just started, but as soon as we finish up WTL, we'll be hopping over to the European region, and we'll be joining Forjumi in covering his league.
Yeah, really cool stuff coming out here.
Fiant woke up at 6 a.m. Is that legal? Is that allowed?
Okay.
Are you feeling okay, Fiant? Did your sleep schedule adjust because of Home Story Cup, and now you're not a degen anymore?
Does anybody? I don't think anybody comes out of Home Story Cup less of a degen.
True.
Put it that way.
True. Feels bad, man. That's why we love Home Story Cup. That's why we love it. As we are going to be settling in for now, we do have our 2 gate openers all around. No one is taking the risk that MaxPax does, and no one is going for a gate expand setup. At least not here on Golden Aura.
Not just yet. So Classic is playing like a human for now.
Okay. Also, I appreciate that that Fianti's letting us know he's insulted. He's like, mate, I'm still a degen. I only got 3 hours sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You love to see it.
As we do have Classic interesting, going for his tech structure first, going for a Stargate opener in his main.
Yeah, gonna be first player to tech up, whereas Gerald... Wait. The position of the names, it's... Wait.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I had to do a double take and then a triple take. Yes, Classic is the one looking to expand as well as Gerald, but Gerald a little bit more committed to expanding. Put it that way.
Yeah, there we go, as we do have our players going to be expanding. Again, with that Stargate opener, we have our first Oracle going to be moving out across the map to harass the mineral lines of Geralt, and we'll see if he can, as we do see Classic being as annoying as possible, and it looks like he does get the sentry.
Yeah, nice little pick off here, taking it out before the shield battery finishes up, so... Gonna deny a little bit more scouting information, potentially, and just, Yeah, make it more difficult for Gerald to defend and take some of these skirmishes.
There we go, we do have our skirmish on the map. Again, Classy just flexing his control early on, sniping the initial sentry. Oracle's likewise moving out as well. We'll see if Geralt can keep up. I mean, we do have our units to defend, at least our units here at the natural, but how exposed are we in the main? As Classic is trying to make an opening and just giving his Oracle some room to dive in.
Like so. Well, somewhat like so, is able to take out one probe over there. Probe Classic making its way across the map as well. He's shedding his humanity.
Is moving out here. I mean, so far so good. You know, Classic just calming things down. Has been quite aggressive so far, but not overly aggressive. As there we go. The second Oracle has joined forces with the first. Now we can one-shot probes. We could even try to dive on the sentries, but there we go. We do get 1, 2, ooh, 3 probes. Up.
3 probes do go down, but good concave here from Gerald is able to take out at least one of these oracles. Depths do come in though for round 2, and this is a lot of probe damage.
Yeah, we cancel the shade. We get 8 probe kills so far. The Adepts are making up for the Oracle. I was gonna say that Oracle wasn't really worth it. It didn't really pay for itself, killing only 3 probes before going down, but the Adepts, they do help Classic out as he sets up a proxy location.
Yeah, 10 probes already go down, and the main push hasn't even begun yet here from Classic.
Yeah, and as
Gerald is banding at the absolute worst time possible.
Yeah, I was going to say here that Classic he's getting ready for his push for his 2-base aggression, and Geralt is expanding instead. So far, Geralt, he's unaware. He does barely miss the proxy location. Is being active with part of his army. His hallucination does confirm the army, though, moving out of Classic.
Yeah, but does he confirm just how committed Classic is being here? I don't think he does, because he's not canceling that Nexus.
Yeah, we'll see if we can hold the line here. I mean, Shield Battery is about to finish, and if they complete, we will have an overcharge at the 3rd base. It's going to be close, it's going to be clutch, but we'll see if if Geralt can hold the line. Meanwhile, Classic is expanding behind this. It is not a 2-base all-in, but it is still a very committed push. Classic does have the Stalker lead.
Indeed, he does. Going to be moving on forward, going to be taking out that Shield Battery.
As Shield Battery goes down, we can focus on the sentries as well. Looks like, ooh, one of them will fall. Both of them are going to be falling here. Nice big offs here out of Classic, still within range of the Nexus.
Yes, this sword will get popped in that mineral line. Meanwhile, Classic going to be blinking on forward, chasing down these stalkers.
Yeah, good pickoffs here from Classic, just chipping away at the army. 3 probes do get caught in the stasis. We're going to be reinforcing on the front lines, and Classic is looking to overwhelm this base. It's going to go down.
Yeah, Classic, he wasn't planning on going all in, but once he smells opportunity, he's going to just reinforce and go straight forward.
Yeah, and now, like, that's all the damage he had to deal. Killing the 3rd base is massive, not just the 3rd, but the sentries, the stalkers. From here, he can back off, and Classic, I mean, he's expanding, he's getting ahead economically.
I was going to say slowly but surely, but no, that actually escalated very, very quickly in a 1-2 punch here from Classic. Coming in with the Oracle to distract a bit of the army, and then just blinking on forward with the Stalkers.
Exactly, just Classic keeping the pressure up on Geralt. Geralt even getting supply blocked for a moment there. Now is not the time. Pylons are being thrown down in a bit of a panic, and Classic, if he were to push in now, Geralt, he just doesn't really have the numbers to hold on.
Yeah, he needs to buy time. He needs to buy as much time as possible, but Classic is not looking to give him that time. He's working on the Robo Bay, so he can somehow muster up enough, get himself enough breathing room to muster up some disruptors, and I think he's going to be fine. Classic actually goes back home?
Yeah, thankfully for Geralt, Classic didn't realize how vulnerable Geralt was with the lack of much of anything. Classic definitely could have gone for the kill there, but again, he was just respecting the position of his opponent, so he does retreat. And I mean, again, Classic doesn't have to go for the kill. Like, denying the 3rd base earlier was enough to get him a lead.
A lead that he is going to maintain for quite some time. Solidly ahead when it comes to the workers, very much ahead when it comes to bases. Tech-wise, that is going to be one thing that Gerald has over Classic. I mean, Gerald even research +1 a lot quicker than Classic did. It's working on +2 now as well, but overall, you gotta give the advantage to Classic. Like, upgrades in tech can only get you so far when you have this much of a supply deficit.
Yeah, this is where, of course, the great equalizer comes into play. You know, Gerald, he's behind. How do we bounce back? You know, DTs or disruptors? So your purification novas, if we get some juicy connections, even with a supply deficit, Gerald can take a fight.
And he's got 2 robos, so he's going to be, once he fully saturates his start base, going to be working on double disruptor production. You know, sometimes it only takes 1. In this case, it's going to take 2, but Gerald's going to have 4 to work with, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. So, Gerald, he has a chance. It's not the biggest of chances, but a chance nonetheless here to bounce back against his opponent. At the same time, we do snipe the Prism.
Massive pickoff here for Gerald. Classic has to be that much more careful with this army. He has absolutely no way to reinforce this anytime soon, and he's once again going to respect this. He's going to pull away since he can't reinforce it.
Yeah, again, he cannot reinforce. We were a little bit trigger happy with those Novas, but alas, thankfully, we did pull back, and we are able to buy some time here. Likewise, we do see Classic reinforcing with a massive gateway army, Zealots and Stalkers. Gerald has to be very, very careful with these Novas. He has to make them count.
He really does. He has 4 potential Novas, and again, he only needs 2 to really connect. 2 really well-placed Novas to connect to this army, and he's going to have much... And he's going to be able to fight at least on even footing, potentially even with an advantage.
Yeah, exactly, as we do have force fields thrown down, Classic pushing in towards that third base. So far, no major damage. We do focus on the shield battery. Shield battery, a couple of hits from going down at the same time. We do see Classic trying to collapse in from multiple angles.
Yeah, trying to sneak around and snipe those disruptors, but Gerald, very quick to react, throws out a couple of zoning Novas to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, it does zone.
They're vulnerable!
Does present it away. Meanwhile, the Novas are going to be going off. They connect with some Zealots, but at the same time, not the best connections we were hoping for. We're getting on top of them.
Yeah, to connect with a couple of Zealots, but nowhere near enough. And of course, Zealots are kind of the buffer unit right now. The main thing that he needs to be worried about is the Stalkers. Classic blinks on forward, will snipe the Disruptors.
Yeah, Disruptors are going down one after the other. Nova going to be going off. It does graze the army, but we did need more connections here. DTs have entered the game as we're headed towards the main base. We just see Classic trying to pull Geralt apart.
And so far, Geralt has been on top of things, but we'll see if that quick little warp in changes anything. I guess it doesn't. Yeah, the DTs get dealt with.
Yeah, DTs are cleaned up. We do see the Classic. I mean, the supplies are evening up here. There was a time where Classic was so far ahead. Novas, they don't quite connect. Not this time. There's still one Nova left in the chamber. Classic has taken a fourth base. You can see that Classic is desperately trying to kill his opponent, but alas, Geralt, he's holding.
He is indeed. Geralt is holding. These Purification Novas are, I think, something Classic has been underestimating a little bit. He keeps blinking forward, trying to snipe the Disruptors, but while doing so, he's also taking a lot of volleys from the Stalkers, so he's actually overestimating the power of Nova. He's tunnel visioning a bit too much on the Disruptors, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he has sniped one Disruptor so far, depower some gateways in the main base with some harass, so not bad. But again, he has to be very careful with this army. It is so fragile here as... yeah, we're going to be dancing forward, dancing back. Classic now taking a bit of a more greater supply lead. Has begun +3, so it does have a bit of an upgrade lead here compared to Geralt that he can make use of.
But upgrades don't really matter that much when you're up against Purification Novas. That Nova barely grazes the Stalker army. We only have one remaining in the chamber. Classic going to blink on forward, going to snipe all of these Disruptors. No more Novas available, and now he's coming in with those Zealots for a full surround.
Yeah, he collapses on the army. The Disruptors go down. The Immortals go down. It's just a gateway army. Nova from the flank, though, does connect. Stalkers are falling, and Geralt, can he barely hold on? If only we didn't have reinforcements as Zealots. They have arrived.
They have arrived. I'm liking this choke point that Geralt is utilizing, but yeah, the shield battery did get taken down, and it looks like Geralt is just... Classic is just about going to be able to win a war of attrition unless this Purification Nova pops!
And Nova going to be going off. Does deny the warp in, but it doesn't stop it completely. GG gets called, and Classic will take the game. GG.
Yeah, GG. Gonna be fighting back here for Twisted Fairies. Gonna completely deny.
Classic did take a lead, but now we're getting into game number 2.
Here we are over here, bottom right. There's a blue Rotos for Twisted Fairies. Classic.
And in the top left, we have a Gerald for Storm Navi.
Is that like a wall lamp? In Gerald's background there. A little bit perplexed.
Where? In the bottom right or the top left?
Bottom left-ish area. That black thing stuck to the wall. At first I thought it was like tape or something.
No.
But then we got the full screen and I'm like, oh no, that's like electric. That's like, has a light.
That could be a light. That could be a heater. Maybe like a room heater.
Oh.
Or maybe like a...
Alright,
like
oh yeah, that's a thing in Europe.
like a dehumidifier, you know? Or like a...
Stuck to the wall?
Or even just a humidifier.
Attached to the wall?
Yeah.
Ah, you save space. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe a cooler. You know, Yaku, it's one of those things where if you don't have an inbuilt cooler in your chair, you know, you have to have the inconvenience of having it outside in the room, you know, taking up space. Or otherwise, you could just have it in your seat.
Yeah. And when you have it in the seat, obviously it also, like, you know, cools down the parts that matter.
What's wrong with you? Oh, God.
It keeps you from raging while you game.
Shout out to yeah, you don't want to be raging while you game. Shout out to Autofull, of course, for sponsoring the tournament.
Yeah. You know, yeah. Shout out to Autofull. You know how people say if you're getting overwhelmed or you're getting like anxiety or whatever, you grab an ice cube or something and that will like ground you immediately.
Is that
you
what?
should do that, but with Autofull.
Is that a thing?
Is
that what people do?
Yeah. It's
you
like,
grab an
well,
ice
it's
cube?
it's only when it's like, you know, you're really like starting to, you know, like tunnel a lot and you're starting to get really anxious. You grab an ice cube and that like tricks your mind into being like, okay, now I have to focus on this sensation on my hand,
right?
Instead of whatever I was thinking of. Imagine if you could do that for your chair.
Yeah. Imagine if your chair was your ice cube.
What? Yeah. And you don't even have to grab it.
You don't.
It'll grab you.
That's gonna be the tagline of the Autofull chairs. You don't grab it, it grabs you. Oh, God.
You're welcome, Autofull.
Oh, no. As we're getting into our 2-gate opener, it's going to be a 2-gate opener from either player here. We do see Gerald's going to be investing into some Adepts early on. Not just Adepts, but also that is a Twilight Council before Expand.
Yeah. Opting for a much more aggressive posture this game. He recognized what went wrong for him. He gave number 1. He got a 3rd.
Yeah, he did get the 3rd, and we'll see how things do differ between our 2 players here. Again, Gerald 2 will have much faster Blink available to him. Meanwhile, Classic with a faster expansion. Stalkers are moving out from both players, and they do miss each other. Uh-oh. And both players under threat.
Yeah, under quite a bit of threat. Classic taking this pretty seriously, immediately walling off his his base, but the Adepts do get into position, and we'll start chipping away at that. Sentries, though, do get warped in.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to force field the Ram. Meanwhile, Classic has more DPS across the map with 4 Stalkers instead of with 2 Adepts. The gateways are depowered. We force the recall.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We do force a recall now. The natural base is under fire. Classic is rallying across the map. Shots are going to be going off, and again, Gerald can't even fight head-on, not against 4 Stalkers.
That he cannot, and now he has to wait for the pylon to finish up as well so they can start to warp in more units. Classic setting up a 4th pylon to reinforce.
Yeah, Classic, he smells blood in the water. He's going for the kill. He knows he has momentum going his way. Boys are being pulled.
And they're being pulled to mine.
Yeah.
But you know what, they can buffer. Yeah, there we go. Now they're being pulled to the main army. Adepts shade on fort, trying to target down these sentries. They're getting low. They're not getting taken out.
Yeah, they're not getting taken out. Good kiting here from Classic, denying mining time, threatening the economy. We do have another warp in of Stalkers, but only 1 at a time. And Classic, he's again overwhelming the army. He's totally out of control.
Yeah, this is just way too much DPS here for our blue Protoss player.
Yeah, again, as the once the ball gets rolling, it just does not stop. Not for Classic. It takes down the entire army. Boys being pulled away here from the mineral line. We have 2 Stalkers left on the high ground and the natural base. It's going to go down.
sooner rather than later. It's
I mean,
just going to be a question of when it goes down. And
yeah,
not
I
if.
mean, what do we
Because
want?
we just
Pick your point.
reinforce more stalkers. Yeah.
Yeah, do we want the base or do we want the army? We want both. As the army's falling, the economy's falling, we're getting into the main base, and there's just almost nothing left.
GG gets called, and Classic gonna fight back, gonna take the 2-0, gonna prevent the 6-0 victory here for Psystorm Na'Vi. Now, obviously, Psystorm Na'Vi already won the series. They already have that series win in their bracket, but, you know, shout out to Classic for at least making a series out of it, fighting back at the end here, and, yeah, kind of improving the map score of Twisted Fairy. So, yeah, hopefully that will come into play for them as we get to the end of the round robin stage.
Yeah, again, Classic E is one of the best Protoss players in the world, so coming into this was looking to be a heavy favorite. But alas, he does need, it's a team league, you know, not an individual league, so alas, unfortunately, we weren't able to force an ace match, or we weren't able to fight back, but at least he does redeem himself here. And with that, Psystorm Gaming, or Psystorm Na'Vi, will take the series.
Indeed, they will. And with that, we're about to wrap things up here for WTL, as you can see here in the match preview. Our next match will not be tomorrow, but will be on Sunday, I believe. Yeah, we'll be on Sunday, and it is going to be Team Vitality versus Berserker Esports, and then the matchup that I'm excited for, two teams that recently changed their name somewhat. Mystery Gaming All Gamers, or MyGag, as I like to call them, versus Weibo Gaming.
MyGag?
Yeah, MyGag.
Oh my god.
That's their acronym. MyGag.
Okay, fair
or
enough.
MyGag, if you prefer pronouncing it that way, but yeah, MyGag.
There you go. GG, well played. Hope you all enjoyed the night of StarCraft here with WTL. If you want some more StarCraft, stick around because we will continue the broadcast. When I say we, Yaku's going to be getting some rest. He's going to be getting some food and chilling out. Yeah.
Not expecting. Shout out to Cyril for that 30-minute game on Golden Aura. I did not think, I didn't think I would have to eat beforehand.
Yeah, a bit of a longer broadcast here, but regardless, I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. As you mentioned, we're going to be back with WTL on Sunday, but we are back in a couple of minutes with the Community League. The Community League group stage.
For Community Community... Look.
It's a bit of a...
It's for Jumi's League.
It is for Jumi's League. It is a little bit of a tongue twister. I said this before. It sounds weird to say, the Community League. It's like it's...
Or the For Jumity.
Yeah.
Either or. I think Jumity is actually the one that is official.
Regardless, that event did begin half an hour ago. Shout out to Forjumi as he is covering that as we speak. We are going to be hopping over to the European region and covering that ourselves as well.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Stick around for that.
There we go. Stick around for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. If you are not interested, then I hope, wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you over the weekend for some more StarCraft. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off for the time being, and we'll see you guys soon with some more StarCraft.
Indeed, you shall. See you then.
Ciao.
Bella.